Aren't you sick and tired of being a good person sometimes? I mean, it's just too much sometimes. You listen to these podcasts, you do your therapy, your yoga, you meditate, you journal, and you constantly read about self-development. And for what? To find yourself over and over again trampled and hurt by toxic people. If that is the case with you, I am here to help. I'm going to tell you a personal story, and we're going to go over 3 signs that you're being surrounded and hurt by toxic people. Hi everyone, I'm Marina G, and this is my channel Mind Bloom, Fighting Cancer One Mind at a Time. Today I want to rephrase it and say fighting trauma one mind at a time. And so I just decided to make this episode a little bit more informal today. So as you can see, I'm just in my room. This is my dog. And I just wanted to tell you the story, and hopefully it'll help you not make the same mistakes. So how do you identify a manipulative, controlling, toxic person in your life? This is actually very difficult, and it may take months. You see, the conundrum is that there's this game being played that I want to call 2 truths and a lie. So there's always a little bit of truth in what they're saying, but then sprinkled with a little lie about you. And you think to yourself, it must be me. I must be the toxic person here because they said it themselves that I'm acting in a way that is not conducive to communication, to openness. So yeah, it must be me, really. And months, perhaps years, can go by where you're just in this cesspool of not really understanding what's going on, blaming yourself because others are blaming you. So obviously you must be at fault. So you're blaming yourself. Your inner critic is having a blast. They're loving this moment. And you start reading, if you're like me, you start reading all these books about narcissism and how toxic you are, and podcasts about how to curb your anger and how to be more empathetic and compassionate towards others. When really what's happening is that you're being abused ever so gently, ever so slightly. You don't notice it. It's months and months and months can go by where this process is happening, is taking place, this manipulation is taking place, and you're slowly beginning to change. Your ideas, your values are beginning to shift to please and to appease the other person's, the toxic person's interests. I usually don't talk openly about myself, but maybe that needs to change because I'm enjoying this process of opening up. But I really felt that this time around I needed to share with you what happened to me a few weeks ago. After months of a little bit of blaming here and criticizing here and there, I felt that it was time that I departed from a relationship that was beginning to hurt me and that was becoming very toxic to me, really. And it wasn't without a lot of arguing and again blaming, it's all on me, this is all on me. And I finally left and I feel a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. But really what I want to talk here about today is, why does it take us so long to trust our intuition? Why does it take us so long to remove ourselves from the toxic environment and from the toxic person? And why is it so hard for us to believe and trust our gut, our intuition, and just run? And also what I think is very important is, how can we not repeat this pattern? What is really going on with us that is making us vulnerable to this type of person or to this type of environment? And so this video is here for you if you're looking to know the top 3 things that will help you identify a person that is toxic, manipulative, and controlling so that you can take measures. Sign number 1, they will criticize you and blame you for every little thing that happens in their life or in their household. Sometimes it's directly, you've done something wrong, and sometimes it's indirectly, it's just, there's so much going on in my life right now, meaning you're one of the factors that are causing stress in your life, and I blame you for that. So you may want to start looking for signs of little micromanaging, micro criticizing. You didn't put the dishes in the dishwasher the way it was supposed to. You didn't park the car the way you were supposed to. You don't show up as often. You're not making time for them, enough time for them. It never seems to be enough, even though if from your understanding, you're always making yourself available for this person. Stay with me through the very end, because I have a bonus sign number 4, of how to identify a toxic, abusive, manipulative person. Sign number 2, that this person may be a toxic, controlling, manipulative person. They take little jabs at you in private and or in public. They sometimes also overuse sarcasm, which may seem at first that it's their natural way of expressing humor, and you laugh because you don't want to be rude, or it's very weird, but sarcasm is a very toxic sign of miscommunication and closeness of dialogue. And look, I have used sarcasm, I'm sure you have used sarcasm, and I imagine that it's okay here and there a little bit, but if it's the main means of communication, then that implies a little bit of toxicity there. But back to the little jabs. Sometimes in public, it doesn't manifest as often. Sometimes you're even given praise in public. Here's my great friend, here's my great girlfriend. That can be the case. And then in private, you get these messages that you're off, you're not quite right, you're not meeting the expectations. Let me give you an example. Taking a few days and then using something you've said in the past against you. Just a tiny little thing, but it kind of starts corroding the relationship. Whatever it is, and that's why these jabs are called jabs. They're very, very tiny, microscopic. They're the size of a needle into your skin, and it's almost imperceptible, but over and over and over again, it can devastate a relationship. Sign number 3, that you're with a toxic, controlling, or manipulative person. You feel deep inside in your gut that they are just perhaps a little bit jealous of what you have and of your achievements, and you feel just a tad that you're in a competition against each other, and you don't really know why or where this started or where this is going. Now, of course, like I said in the beginning, you want to dismiss these thoughts as irrational, arrogant, pretentious. What do you mean a competition? We're friends, we're partners, we're lovers, whatever it is, we're siblings. And no, absolutely not. There's no competition here. You really want to believe that. You really want that to be true because you're ashamed of your own thoughts. What if you're being arrogant? What if you're pretentious? What if it's you? What if it's you who's jealous? What if it's you who's competitive? As an add-on to sign number 3, I would also love to include resentment and just nagging, which goes back a little bit to that criticizing and blaming of sign number 1, but it's just a little bit different. It's because there's this competition going on between them and the entire world, really. They always feel a little bit resentful that they've given too much and got not enough in return. And so little by little, people in their families, close relatives, people in their social networks become the target of resentment. A classic example, my teenage kids, I do everything I can for them and this is what I get. Or you, right? You have done something wrong and I did so much to help you. The things I have done to help you, and look, this is what you're doing. You're completely destroying this relationship. And you're all of a sudden feeling like you don't even know what hit you because you thought you were finally living this healthy relationship where there's trust and give and take and empathy. And no. So if you start seeing this pattern repeat itself, run. Get out of there. Don't look back. If you're still with me, thank you so much. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. That could help my message get across more and more people. I would be so thankful. Now, as promised, here's my bonus sign that the person next to you is controlling, manipulative, abusive towards you. And that is if someone ever uses this emoji, run for your life. It's a cute emoji. I've used it, I have to admit, kind of like, I don't know, right? But now I read it as, I don't know, I don't care, this is what it is, and you just have to deal with it because I am not going to change. At this point, you may want to consider getting some help. Perhaps a therapist, perhaps a dear friend, perhaps a close, intimate family member. If these options are not available to you, you can follow my example and journal and write down some of the things that go on in your day so that you can start creating these patterns and seeing more clearly the map of what is really going on emotionally with you. To help you with that, I've created this video, the 3 best workbooks that will help you with anxiety and boost your mental health. This is Marina checking out. I will see you on my next video. Bye bye.